You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks.
All right, good morning, you guys. So question of the day, there are a lot of mixed messages out there in terms of what is the best way to grow my gym? Who should I trust? It's a great question. I think everyone kind of remembers the analogy of like, if you got like four blind people kind of like feeling an elephant and their perception of what the elephant is going to be different. That's how I think about the mentorship companies in the fitness space. Depending on where they've spent most of their time, what they've tried, and I think their overall, like, what they tend to gravitate to in terms of like their natural strength, that's going to be the bias or the filter of which they're giving you their advice. The short answer is everybody's a little bit right, and there's small nuance in figuring out which parts of what they're saying apply to you. So if you talk to a certain mentorship company, they'll kind of tell you, hey, focusing a lot on client experience, coaching quality, retention, things like that's where you really need to focus on. And I would push back and say that makes a lot of sense for people maybe in like the early stages of their business, right? If you're trying to get to like maybe like 100 or 0 to 100 members, maybe even like 125. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because generally in that stage, you're still trying, you're doing all the roles as the business owner. You're getting better at coaching. You're establishing the culture. You're doing all these things, and you're making that first hire of coaches that need to be able to replicate the quality of coaching that you're doing. Also, you got to make sure it's an incredible experience so that you don't have a leaky bucket and people are leaving because the experience isn't great. And it's kind of like I would solve that first before we go on to the next stage. Now, there's another mentorship company out there that really pushes on systems, SOPs, playbooks in order to create leverage to get the business out of your head and onto a piece of paper. And again, that's going to be a really, really good advice for people in, let's call it the 100 to 150 to 200 stage, right? Where you are hiring people. They're taking on more and more ownership over different outcomes of the business, different roles and responsibilities, client success manager, general manager, head coach, admin, whatever it is. And your business needs to be able to be replicated so that if someone leaves the business, someone else can walk in and be able to do that job easily. It also creates leverage for you as the business owner to spend time in higher value roles, and we get you off the floor. Now you can focus working on the business. That's going to take you to a certain level. But even if you're doing all of those things correctly and your business gets to this place where you're still not satisfied with the amount of impact you're having in your community, the amount of careers that you're creating for your coaches, all of that stuff, then you have to lean more into a type of mentorship or advice that's more on the client acquisition side and really leadership HR development side. So what I've noticed is when there's blanket advice given by different mentorship companies, it's coming through the lens of a certain stage of the business that you're in. So the advice given may not apply to you if you're in a different stage of your business. I do like the fact that most of them are gravitating more towards data to make their decisions, but I still think that there's a gap between what solid advice is for a gym owner in a certain stage and when that advice no longer applies to them. And I still feel like there's a little bit of tribalism going on in terms of like what the right answer is. And to me, it's like, you guys are both right. It just depends on who you're talking to and what stage of business that they're in, right? I mean, that sounds reasonable. So that's what I would say to people who are getting mixed messages. Is kind of figuring out what stage of business are you in, what's the easiest lever to pull, and then surround yourself by that person until you get out of that stage, and then go seek a different circle of people and a different type of advice to get you to the next stage, right? That's it, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's LASSOFRAMEWORK.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.